I'm a fan.
Welcome to another episode of Tracking the Wolves with your voice of NSU Sports. Yep, that's me, Ben Root. Time to look back at last week's competition for your Northern Wolves squads. It was all basketball last week for NSU as the teams played doubleheaders on Tuesday and Saturday. Northern women remained red hot on the court, taking down Mayville State University Tuesday 87-55 before starting conference play Saturday with a 74-42 slaying of the Moorhead Dragons. A trio of Wolves scored in double digits against the Comets. Rachel Krogman had 15 points with 8 rebounds. Sadie Stoltzberry knocked in 14 points to go with 8 rebounds as well, and Paige Witashik sunk 13. Then Saturday, the team opened up conference play, crushing the Dragons as Krogman joined elite company. Senior out of Elkton dropped in 21 points, pulled down 11 rebounds, but it was a free throw in the first half of play that made her the 30th player in Northern history to score 1,000 points in a Wolves uniform. She was the only Wolf in double figures, but of note, how about a 13 rebound performance from Lauren Diedrich? That was a new career high for her. As for the men, they ended up with mixed reviews last week. The Wolves men took down Dakota State University Tuesday 78-52, and they recorded a win over Jamestown University earlier this week 88-71, but sandwiched in between, it was that conference opener against Moorhead Saturday. They would drop that one 75-55. Against the Trojans, Seth Bashan hit for a double-double with 20 points, 10 boards, and Darren Paterka hit for 17 points. In the conference opener, the defense struggled against the high-powered Dragons, allowing 50% shooting and a 10 of 18 night from downtown. Again, Bashan led the way with 16 points this time. Ty Storston off the bench hit for 10 points. Northern connected on only 37% of their shots in the ball game. Men did bounce back, though, with a good win over Jamestown University this week, beating the Jimmies 88-71. All 5 Northern starters found double-digit scoring in this one. Sky Warwick tying a career high with 22 points. Paterka had 17, along with 8 boards, 5 dimes, and 4 steals. Mitch White connected for 14 points. Bashan dropped in 11 to go with 9 boards, and Storston finished with a strong stat line of 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. That's a check of last week's action. We'll talk more Northern sports next right here on Tracking the Wolves.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
Welcome back to this edition of Tracking the Wolves, and we're talking basketball here on this week's episode. Well, that's all that went on this past week. So today joining us is DJ Pollard, redshirt freshman from your men's team here on the show. Thanks for coming on, DJ.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Well, I'm a DJ, but it's disc jockey. Everybody knows that. What's your DJ stand for?
Donald Jr., so my full name is Donald Pollard Jr.
Okay. Well, so that's a little different because usually it's like 2 names, like your middle name, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't have a middle name. That's
okay.
It's a little interesting.
So DJ, you're from St. Louis Park, which we were actually just talking about. I like to find out where the good places are to eat. That's pretty much Twin City suburbs. So I guess you got a lot of choices there. What's like 1 or 2 good places you like?
I guess I go to it's a bar and grill called Bunny's a lot. My dad loves that place. I'll go there when I'm home, like during the summer. I go there quite a bit, honestly. It's a pretty good place, kind of low key. And then I guess I also like maybe like Punch Pizza. That's kind of more of it's like in Calhoun area, kind of in Uptown. It's a pretty good pizza place. I mean, there's a lot of places, I guess. Hard to choose just two.
Gotta write down Punch. All right, I don't think I've been to that one.
That's pretty good.
That's cool. Ever been to Broder's?
No, I haven't
nice.
actually.
It's very good.
It is?
Very good.
I'd check that out then.
If you're going for Italian especially. So, well, you're redshirt freshman, so kind of took a year break almost, although a lot of work I'm sure studying and doing stuff like that. What was that experience like not playing hoops last year really?
It's a good experience. It was tough, I'll be honest. It's hard to go from being, the star of your high school team to coming and kind of being more just a practice player. I would do it again though if I had to. I think it just helps you kind of understand the college game because it's a lot different than high school, and it just kind of got you ready, body and mind, I guess, working out all the time. Just kind of got you prepared for the grind of the season, which we're kind of in the middle of right now. So,
did you do more work last year as far as not on the court, or maybe even on the court? Did you feel like you did more work last year than you did in we got 7 games under our belt so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a lot more. You have a lot more going on during the week. Now it's just kind of practice, film, and then you'll play. But as a redshirt, you got 4 lifts a week, and then you got to practice. Plus, you got to do the film, and then you got to go to the game. So it's just there's a lot more to do. But then you're not playing, I guess. So it's still more though. It's just more of a grind, I think.
It's more like homework.
Yeah, more like homework, exactly.
Now, how difficult has it been adjusting to the workload as far as between that and, of course, schooling too, from high school to college?
It hasn't been as bad as I thought it'd be. I think college, as they say, is time management. I think that's really important, at least for me. You kind of to organize your day, what you're going to do when. So that's what I did when I came here. I kind of scheduled out my days so I knew when I had to do this or that, work around practice. So I actually haven't had too much trouble with the balancing the school and the basketball. With finals coming up, it's been a little tougher just because there's a lot more workload, but it's not too bad. You just got to manage your time.
That sounds good. And you are majoring in biology. Are you still in mainly just all general study stuff, or do you have some biology classes?
I'm still finishing on my generals. I'm starting to get more into my core major classes. I'm taking I think next semester I'm taking at least 2 biology classes and a chemistry, and this semester I'm taking biology and a chemistry. So I'm starting to get into my major, but still I kind of have to finish up the last generals pretty quick here. So
is it what kind of drew you into biology and going into that?
I have a friend whose grandpa's a dentist, and so is my neighbor. So I was kind of talking to them about the whole dental career path. So that kind of got me interested in biology. I don't know if that's what I want to do, the dental path, but I think that's kind of what kind of got me pushed me down the path, I think. So. Can
you understand people when they talk with their mouth full and what have you?
Yeah. I'm not great at it, so I don't know if the dental career is really for me.
I'm not sure how dentists pull that off. Well, looking at the squad, 6-1 start to the season after knocking off Jamestown this week. You have played a couple conference teams, 1 conference game and 1 non-conference game with SMSU. What's the difference to you between the NSIC teams and the other teams that you've played so far this year?
I think for me, there's a lot of differences. I think as being at the games when it's like a team in our conference, there's a bigger crowd. They're a lot more into it. It means a lot more. The conference teams that we do play, they kind of know, they know us better. We know them better. They know us. So it's tougher. Everything's just a little more amped up because, with Southwest and Moorhead, they've played us. They kind of know the offense we run, kind of our tendencies. They know our players. So it's a little more of like a strategic battle, I think, and you can't make as many mistakes. So everything's kind of revved up, I think.
Can't rely as much maybe on your just skill set, more studying, and I guess that helps you from last year then too.
True.
With these teams, right?
Yeah, it kind of helps you just kind of remember them.
Now, this season you've been out there quite a bit, especially on the defensive side, subbing in sometimes offensive defense. I know Coach Saylor does that, and it seems like you're doing a really good job defensively out there. Is that something you concentrated on in the off season?
It's kind of I've been known for my defense throughout high school. The offensive aspect of the game in high school, I needed to be more of a scorer too, but I think when you come into college, it's a lot more about your role, especially for me as a freshman or a redshirt freshman. You kind of have to know your role, so I know if I want to play or if I want to help the team succeed, I have to be a very good defender and be a hustle player, I think. So.
Well, so far so good there. And when you came in last year, of course, doing a lot of the studying and what have you, was there somebody that either took you under their wing or that you kind of learned from as you moved into college? Or
yeah, there's I guess I kind of watched. You kind of watch your position more. I'd say one of the first people to really kind of make me feel part of the team, I think, is actually Ty Storson. He really, right when I came here for like the summer camps, he was really kind of brought me in and just asked me questions, got to know me really well. So I think watching him, just how he plays hustles, plays defense, it was really one of the main, one of the people I really, I guess, looked up to or still look up to as a player. And then this year we have Mitch and Darren, who are like great defensive players as well, get a lot of steals, often guard the best player on the other team. And I think watching them and what they do really helped me kind of understand what I need to do and prepare me for this year more, I think. So.
If you wanted to or needed to work on one part of your game, what would you say needed the most improvement right now?
I'd say right now, I think I just need to work on my consistency offensively. I know I can be a good offensive player, but I just think I need to keep like my jump shot more consistent. It can make me more of a threat. That'd be the main thing I really think I need to focus on.
Now that the non-conference schedule is done, was it kind of exhausting the way that this was scheduled at first? I mean, you didn't have more than 3 days off at any point there.
Yeah, I think especially the last 2 weeks, once we played Southwest and then we've had these stretch of, three or four games since then, it's been a grind. It's a lot of practice, a lot of games, and you don't really get a break. I mean, we'll have practice days where it's a lighter workload, but still your body's sore, everyone's body's sore. I think it's good today we get a day off just to kind of refresh ourselves, ice, take care of our bumps and bruises. So it's been a tough non-conference schedule.
And finally get into kind of some normalcy with Friday and Saturday games here starting this weekend. And as we get to wrap things up here with DJ Pollard on Tracking the Wolves, winter break just about here. Like you mentioned, you got some finals coming up. Any break plans for you?
No, honestly, for break, I plan on just relaxing, kind of enjoying seeing family and friends I haven't seen in a while. Should be nice to just have a little kind of break before we get into the really deep grind of conference play again. So.
And as far as music, movies, and books, I always like to ask if you had 3 items you could choose if you're stuck on an island or going on a road trip or something, what 3 things would you take? You can take any combo there.
I'm a big music guy. Got into Drake lately. He's probably been my favorite artist for a while now. In terms of movies, I always think that's a tough question. There's so many movies to choose from. Probably a good comedy or like a suspense action movie. It's hard for me to pick one, honestly. Books, books is tough. I guess probably my favorite series of books has been the Harry Potter books, but there's also a lot of good just kind of novels out there that I've read as well. So I don't know. That's a tough question.
Well, you got a general answer. That works for me. So thanks for coming on, and thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. There's DJ Pollard here on Tracking the Wolves. We'll look at the week ahead on your Wolves schedule. Coming up next year on this edition of Tracking the Wolves.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
With commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why. These student athletes say with pride,
I chose
Division II.
It's about that time again, folks. You guessed it, time to finish up the Tracking the Wolves episode for this week and look ahead at your Northern sports schedule. This weekend, we're back to a full slate of activity for your Wolves. The basketball squads have home NSIC doubleheaders Friday and Saturday. UMary and Minot State visiting the Hub City on those dates respectively. Game 1 Friday, 6 o'clock, and Game 1 on Saturday, 5 o'clock on ESPN 1420, 1071. Northern swim team's going to do laps this weekend as they compete at the Rochester Invite Friday through Sunday. The NSU track and field teams are going to do battle in Brookings to start the season at SDSU Friday and Saturday. And the Wolves wrestlers will hit the mats coming up on Sunday, taking part in the MSU Moorhead Open. That'll do it for this week's edition of Tracking the Wolves. To stay up to date on the latest Northern sports notes, join me for another episode next week. And until then, as always, go Wolves.